We move to item 12, which is South Yorkshire Airport City. Approvals required to support the reopening of the airport. I will introduce this item. South Yorkshire Airport City is our programme to reopen Doncaster Sheffield Airport and develop a cluster of high-value economic activity which complements traditional aviation functions, including logistics. Last week, we welcomed the Chancellor Rachel Reeves to Doncaster, following her commitment the week before that government would work with us to reopen our airport. Reopening our airport is my number one priority. That is why I have allocated £10 million from council resources, and yesterday we were awarded a further £10 million from South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authority. This £20 million financial package will enable critical mobilisation works to continue and not lose any momentum in our drive to reopen the airport, given its strategic importance to Doncaster, South Yorkshire and the North. I would like to thank South Yorkshire leaders for their continued support of our airport with their future funding approvals. There, of course, remains a great deal of work to do, but we are continuing at pace. The report before us today sets out the next steps in order to see our airport reopen in spring 2026. Last week, we announced our partnership with Munich Air International, which will be working with us to operate the airport. Munich Airport International is being joined in the partnership by FP Airports Limited, aviation sector specialists. As previously highlighted, this project has the potential to be the largest single investment ever made by SYMCA and this council. It does require significant investment and has also required CDC to take on an entrepreneurial role to achieve the economic stimulus within the airport, Gateway East, and derive the benefits anticipated from the investment zone. South Yorkshire has no other opportunities of this scale in its investment pipeline and should be seen as a game changer not only for Doncaster but our county, the North and UK PLC, providing opportunities and prosperity that will increase trade, export and growth for Doncaster and South Yorkshire through global connectivity, putting Doncaster on the map regionally, nationally and internationally. That is why reopening our airport remains my number one priority. The programme to reopen our airport is an investment in our economy. It is an investment in our businesses. It's an investment in our jobs and skills, and it is an investment in our collective future. I ask that Cabinet support this report and its recommendations. I also know the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny would like to come in here with their considerations. Jane.
Thank you, Chair. The committee welcomed the opportunity to review the report and provide comments and feedback for consideration by the Executive prior to this decision-making meeting. Following its consideration, the committee recommended that a future report brought back in summer 25 and when appropriate on key activities and milestones to ensure OSMC is kept fully engaged. Members welcome the opportunity for continuing scrutiny involvement and engagement on this important issue to support a transparent approach going forward. The committee welcomed the provision of an outline of the extensive due diligence process undertaken to date as part of a lengthy process, formed a better understanding around the reported project benefit cost ratio of 9:1, how it had been formed and what it would mean for Doncaster and the certainty in being able to deliver this with the reopening of the airport. It learned more about why it had not been possible to secure a higher amount of private sector investment. Members heard about the different avenues and options explored during the process. It acknowledged that what the airport was able to offer in terms of employment and helping to create a more diverse workforce within Doncaster. Members heard how this could be supported by the airport utilising its strengths through its recruitment processes, working more closely with public, supporting local businesses and making a positive impact within schools. It recognised that this would not happen in isolation and efforts would be made to ensure that the right approach was in place first. Heard that the name of the airport will be given further consideration in the future. There was some interest in that section. Some members also raised the following matters for further consideration as this project progresses. Requirement for close consideration regarding the use of Doncaster's gain share resources on the opening of the airport and the potential impact on this on areas across the city. Members were reminded of the opportunities arising from the business case that will permeate across the city and the whole of South Yorkshire. Careful management of risks, including those within the top 5 detailed within the report, and an outline of how these could be mitigated. In response to concerns, members were provided with further information regarding the roles of the directors of Fly Doncaster Limited, who were also current employees of the City of Doncaster Council. Clarification was provided regarding what this meant and what the company board would look like going forward. Members were assured that the operational arrangements were currently being drafted, including the memorandum and articles of association. In terms of timescales, it was acknowledged that a significant period of time had already passed in reaching this current stage, and there was now some urgency to focus on reopening and mobilising the airport. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Debbie Hogg, Director of Corporate Resources, Faye Tyest, Service Director of Finance and Technology, Christian Foster, Strategic Programme Lead, and Scott Focus, Service Director of Legal and Democratic Services, for outlining in detail the information contained within the report and responding to questions. Thank you.
Colleagues, I was going to say, is there any more questions or statements I've seen? So if you just put your hands up again, I'll write them down because, so it's Phil, Sarah, Mark. Have I got it right? Phil, Sarah, Mark, Nigel, and Glyn. Right? Okay, so we'll take them in that order, please. So I'll go with Phil.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to welcome the report, very pleased to support it, and particularly welcome the support the government have articulated for getting this airport open as soon as possible. It is quite clear that our message has got across to government that this airport is absolutely central to Doncaster's ambitions. And in 2022, we were blessed that Her Majesty, shortly before she died, conferred city status on Doncaster. And I've always believed that great cities have great airports. And I've never doubted that what used to be Finningley Airport could be a potentially great airport. And the public believe that in Doncaster. There's never been such an enormous consensus and faith in the capacity of that airport to deliver for the town, for the city, and for the wider region. And it's so much. The site and the airport has always had so much more potential than some of our neighbouring airports that have stuttered along over the years. So I'm very pleased. I think the figures here that demonstrate the benefit cost ratio of 9-to-1 show that every penny that we invest to make that airport a success has every likelihood of delivering a return. And I'm so glad that our leadership and the council and the people of Doncaster have faith in the capacity of this airport to really deliver. Airports are strategic industries. They generate other industries and supply chains, and I think this will do nothing other than that. Thank you.